I am back here. I got set up. All right, so I got Facebook here. I got YouTube here, and I am basically assembling the greenhouse. So I've been out here for a while, and all I got was this bottom frame together, but it gives me a good idea of where everything's gonna be. It's 14 feet along the way, 8 feet wide. I guess we would call this wide and that deep, but you understand what I'm saying. But what I want to do was I had ordered some wood above ground garden boxes that are going to go inside here. So I just want to measure what they said online, the measurements were, and just see how much space I'm going to have once it's in there. So let me go ahead and pull this up so I can look at the dimensions. Let's see, me. All right, my orders. All right, and I got the 8 by 12. It's real hard to see it on my phone, because they're going to show you everything but what you want to see. So this is the 8 by 12. All right. I can't make out. It shows you the feet. Of course, it shows millimeters on the one thing that I want to get. Right here, do their translation right. They got users manual. Yeah, that's in the PDF. And of course, I know my phone's gonna open the PDF. Oh my God. You know what? I probably gotta change this to view it on my browser. Then I can probably see better. I really wish they would have less advertisements on the page and more stuff. So basically, from this end, the 8-foot wide, it looks like it says it's going to measure 7.6 feet. 7 feet, 7 and 3/8 inches. So I mean, though that it's a U-shaped box, so basically it's probably gonna come about from here out 36 inches, and then run up this way, and then have it run this way, and then have it run this way. So I just wanted to try to visualize, I'm gonna have one little alley to walk in right about here, because the rest of this is gonna be boxes. And ideally is I want to build another shelf a little bit higher that will have some stuff on it, and then maybe like a high rack that if I can, well, if these pineapple plants revive, get those up high in there, but I'm not sure how much space I'm gonna actually have. So, but I'm just trying to visualize how it's all gonna be. So, the boxes themselves are 1.6 high, so they're not gonna be, that tall. That's a foot. I know it says 0.6, but I'm gonna go a foot and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Foot 6 inches. So roughly about that tall. I mean, that's a pretty good height. And then what I was trying to do was see the spacing in between. Just do some quick calculations. All right, so 7.7 feet, that's the 8-foot wide, is approximately 92.4 inches. So I'm just gonna call it 92 inches. All right, so if we got 92 inches totally wide on the boxes, and this is exactly 92 inches. Well, it's a little bit less than 92 inches. So that might actually be a tight fit. We're about half an inch short of 92 inches. So, again, I don't exactly trust the measurements, but I mean, if worst case comes to worst, if it is too wide, the middle section that's in the back, I can always just cut off 2 inches of that section and shorten it. But again, that's going to shorten what I'm using for the walkway in the middle. But I'm sure I can get that fixed. But basically, what I wanted to do is the math. All right, so if it's 92 inches wide, and each one of these I can just the quality of the image on the phone, trying to see the measurements is real bad. It looks like it says 2.4 feet. All right, so we got 92, and I'm gonna put 2.4. So that's about 28.8 inches. hypothetically, if I rounded that up to 30, so 30 inches here, 30 inches there is going to give us 60 inches out of 92, which will leave about 32 inches, give or take, in the middle. Like I said, depending on how it fits, I might have to cut an inch off that. So, but we got 32 inches of walking space, which, so this is 34. But just to give you an idea, if I lay it down, actually, you know what? So I can go here, that will be 30, so the walks will be from right there. Yeah, my walk space, 32 inches right here. So when I come in, yeah, that'll be plenty of space to do what I need to do when I'm inside. Alright, so, and then, you know, the long way, depth, coming in, the long way, we got 14.9 feet. What I wanted. Alright, so 14.9. And inches roughly is going to give us 178 inches, almost 179 inches. But, you know, 14.9. Actually, hold on. I hope I'm looking at the wrong one because that would pretty much be. But yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry. So, I was going to say this is only 14 feet deep. Alright, so this one. Yeah, no, I was looking at the right one. Oh no, so that back box I might have to shorten it. So I don't know how. Man, I gotta look at these graphics on the computer because this was supposed to be a 12-foot. I'm supposed to be looking at a 12-foot line. You know what? Give me a second. I'm just gonna go look at this on the computer, and then I write the dimensions down on the back of this because I don't see this being accurate. All right, and to all my fans on YouTube, definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna be doing a lot more other videos other than you know, most of my stuff is car keys, but as you can see, I'm here. I'm building a garden. I have zero experience gardening, so you know, definitely stay tuned and watch what I have going on as far as the garden, because we can see. I could give you all a little walk around. The stuff that I tried last year, miserably. So these are my 3 raised beds that I never finished filling. I have a 4th one that I have to assemble that will go down that end. And then I have about 55 pineapple plants that were doing okay, but then we just got that cold snap that really put hurting on them. But a lot of them still have green leaves down at the bottom, so I'm hoping that they're able to revive. I got some more random ones there with a whole bunch of weeds that I got to pull out. More plants that need to be repotted. I got more grow bags coming, some more pineapple plants. And then that was a whole bunch more that I had just stuck in some dirt there. And then the rest of these grow bags were other random things that I was trying to grow. I did start growing one watermelon that I accidentally ripped off the vine. So basically I got 0 harvest last year of the stuff that I was working on, but I'm going to come back and actually try to focus on it this year and hopefully have some better results. But yeah, it's a lot of work. You know, I got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm going to try to get on it early and hopefully everything is set up. Once it starts getting hot, I can go ahead and do that. But just give me a minute. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go look up these dimensions and write them down.
Wait, that's facing me? Yeah, I just started sleeping, so it's getting funky. Yeah, I saw the leaves on the bottom.
All right, so like I said, it's a lot easier to see it when you look on the web browser. So the box that's going to be inside, the actual dimensions, it's advertised as a 8 by 12 or whatever. So we're going to have, it's going to be 90 inches wide, so that's good because we had a little bit less than 92 inches, so that 90-inch wide is like perfect width for this. All right, and then they're gonna be about 19.2 inches high. So I went and converted all the feet to inches. So we got, so it's gonna be about that high, which is a good, a good deep box. And then the long way from the back corner to, the opening door is gonna be right here. The long way, we got 143 inches. So go ahead and look at this. Put that all the way down there. All the way down 143 inches about right here. So that will be the end of the box. So it's going to be, that high, back wall, all the way right here. And I'll have roughly about 36 inches. Let me do the math. Oh, I didn't look at the math for I didn't write down the width of each individual box, but if the math I did was right, I'll have at least, minimum, at least 30 inches of walking space in the middle, and that's going to be real good. So those boxes, it's almost like they were built for this greenhouse. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good size. Looks like those clouds. So I'm going to go ahead and see how much of this. Now that I laid out most of, I can see the layout of what it's going to be. That was the main frame there on the bottom. We got all that done, and then it tells us we could either hammer down the corners or we can dig it out and I don't know what that's telling me to do, but it's fine. I don't think it's going anywhere. I might even get some really good anchors and put them down good. I could even put a little concrete down there and hold something down. So, just so we make sure it doesn't blow away. But once I get those garden boxes in, I can also tap the garden box into the side of the frame of the greenhouse, and then definitely nothing will be able to blow it away, or at least the frame will be there. I don't know about the top of the greenhouse. All right, so it looks like we're gonna start doing the walls and the door opening. All right, so let me go ahead and get A1, A2, A5. All right, so it's gonna be a bunch of these. All right. Obviously, I'm gonna need the one with the door. So this is A18 too. Actually, this isn't in any of these. So this is just the door frame that we're dealing with right now. So this is that's part of that door frame. So this is A18-1. Part of the door hinge that has the hinges in it that I'm looking for. I might actually go to the door. A11, we don't have any A11s there. A11. So I'm looking for A5. At, if you're a little confused at the orientation of which way it's going to go, also look at the bolt holes down the bottom and kind of find how you're doing it. So this is going to be a 1 here. Just doesn't seem right. I have a feeling I'm doing that wrong. Looking at the front of this here, I guess it's like this. Looking at a two-dimensional image when your eyes are seeing, that third dimension. Sometimes you just got to make sure you're at the right angle. This one is damaged down the bottom and shipping, so I have to get my flat hinge, take that out, and then of course this last corner is going to go. We know we want the, like I said, the screw to be that way. We can have to go talking about is when you look at the picture and you look at that little top thing and you try to see which way the lip is going, it looks like it's not actually facing the right way, or I might just be reading it backwards. But yeah, I'm talking about the little picture. That's that quote I just put up, and then it shows the lip coming out this way towards the front door, but I believe it's actually supposed to be turned 90 degrees. That way the bolt hole lines up down the bottom. But if I did it wrong, we'll figure out in a little while. Let me find the flathead. Let's see. No. Alright, so down the bottom of these, this is how it's supposed to look. That one you can see it's smashed a little down here, so it doesn't exactly go on the peg. That's how it's supposed to look there. That end is smashed down there. So, you know, it's just thin aluminum. It's nothing too crazy. Try my best to straighten this out. I'll take this. I might have to get like a little block or either just hammer it down. Make sure I get this lined up. Get the hole where it's supposed to be. It happens in the shipping, so all right. Got the 4 legs up, and then A8-1 and A8-2. Like it's supposed to be for the door frame. I'm just looking for this. What it looks like is we got to slide the 2 B1 windows in that go in between that frame, and then slide that A18 and A12 down because it doesn't actually bolt to this bottom lip, and those 2 B1 windows are gonna kind of hold it in place until we get the top part in, which seems a little sketchy, but those 4 corners we just put up, they all get an 8 bolt, which is M612. So yep, the package should be already open. We can get 4 of these. wobble tips or extensions. Run that out. I didn't run that down tight. I just ran it down. So when I start putting those two B1 windows, it actually doesn't push out. Try to get it so that it doesn't fall off. And then also I was a little, concerned with making sure the angles are facing the right way, but if you look at the two little squares that I showed you, obviously it could only go onto the plastic peg one way because, one's small, one's big, so, I'm 99.9% sure that I got those one. These actually have, this might be too short. All right, that worked a little bit better. Go ahead and knock off these last two. All right, so let me find those two B1 panes. Right. 3, 6, 5, 5. All right, so we got B1 here and the B here. All right, so these polycarbonate frames, they're not super sturdy. They will blow away, so that's why you want to make sure that when you assemble the stuff, it's assembled, nicely and tight and square. So I'm not sure if there's a certain way that this should go, but go ahead and, of course, now the wind is picking up. this blade in the frame and pull the film off. Rather ripped it. Fill out the rest of it supposed to come off. See now, as soon as I get to this part, the wind is going to start getting windy. Flathead go again. One of those little lips is a little big, so I gotta find this A81 and A82. A11, A12, A16, A18, 1, 18, 2. Alright, so A82 is part of this. A18 2 and A82. So this is part of that door we're gonna need to assemble. But this A82 is gonna be me facing it on my right hand side. I'm not really sure how this attaches. It looks like once we assemble something, there is now it's gonna find this A81, which obviously it should be another tall piece like this. one was an A15. A15, we got a lot of A15s. So this is probably going to be what makes up the top structure going around. These A15s and A16s. All right, another A15. A15, another A15. Another A15. So that A81 that I'm looking for must be doing something I already took out. Possibly somewhere over here. A3, A7, A6. Alright, so this one that has the door hinge on it. That's the A8-1. Alright. So remember when I had that piece and I was like, I need the end with the other hinges. Alright. So A8-1. Gotta go this way. Just a few spots. Little edges get pinched in and chipped in, so alright. Alright. And I don't know if y'all can see it, but these two ends angle up. I'm sure once we get the polycarbonate filled in there, there's a top bracket that will slant down and connect those. Yeah, the bracket goes across the top. So, alright, so we got those. Got those. Alright, so these have little Torx bits on the bottom of them. I guess they just clamp onto the polycarbonate from the back. Which is, again, I probably won't tighten those down until the frame is all together so I can make sure that everything is square. Alright, so I believe that's everything on this page. Go ahead and move to the next page. Alright, so we got a bunch of A12s. So it looks like we got to where one's up here, and then it looks like there's a bracket that goes between. So it's A12 that goes between the windows. I'm sorry. So the Allen bolts don't pinch the polycarbonate, like I said. So the little Torx things here, I guess it controls these little grabbers. So once you have these in the pull, you turn the Torx head. I'm not sure what size Torx that is, but I'm sure the Torx. Tightening one there. My whole thing is so we've got both our polycarbonate. Film off. One. A little bit wider. That's gonna go in like that, and then this. So this thing has the screw hole. And this one has the latch in, and it comes down.